Hi there gamers, welcome to an MGL Mix special interview here on mygameslounge.com. I'm Respawn Roscoe and we've been to EGX over the past week or so and had a really good time, and today is the launch day of Sublevel Zero, one of the many cool indie games that we got to play at EGX. Now on mygameslounge.com we've got all kinds of videos that you can check out, including 10 amazing indie games, and this was one of them. This was one of the stars of the show at EGX this year, and today being the launch day we've got a few details. So this video is an interview I did with co-founder of Sigtrap Games, Gary Lloyd, who's going to talk you through a little bit about Sublevel Zero ahead of its launch today on Steam. Enjoy.
Hi gamers, I'm here with Gary on Sublevel Zero. He's demoing it at EGX. Gary, the build's a lot more solid than last time we came out. You were rushing to get it finished. How's it looking now?
Yeah, so it's looking pretty good. I think the last time we played it was at Rest.
Yeah.
So yeah, since then we've completely, we've got a technical artist on board to help us with workflow stuff. Helped us basically optimize how we create content, how we do our sort of texturing, our material setups. So the entire game's basically got a facelift since Res.
It's looking really nice. What's gamer reaction been to it so far?
Overwhelmingly positive. Like it's been really humbling to have so many people come play it. People who are familiar with the genre, people who are not familiar with it, and yeah, it's just been overwhelmingly positive, and yeah, it's been great.
It's really good to see, because I've seen a lot of people playing it, saying some good things. One of the most impressive things I've seen so far is a new feature, which is the map. Do you want to talk about that a little bit for everybody? Because that is cool.
Yeah, so we basically have a 3D map view. So if you ever get lost, you can basically press the tab key, and it zooms out from the ship, and you basically can see the entire map. It's sort of based on line of sight. So as you go into a room, it will reveal parts of the room. It will reveal sort of where exits are, where keys are located, chests, things like that. It was pretty much inspired by the visual style of Metroid Prime. So I absolutely love the map on that. So I was like, I'd love to see something similar, like visually in our game, and yeah, we managed to make something very similar.
It's really good, and it helps that navigation. Just for those people that maybe haven't seen so much of the game, how does the actual level design work with your procedural technology?
So what we do is we pre-construct rooms. So these rooms can be any shape, any size. There are a few constraints, but it's nothing that's really going to impact the game that much. It's just something that we've got to keep in mind when we're building things. So something I like to do is go back to games like Descent and Forsaken, sort of replay those games, get a feel for the environments, and then think, oh yeah, this sort of chunk of a level is quite nice. Maybe there's a nice corridor that like winds around or something, and it's then trying to sort of replicate that in sort of a chunk by chunk basis, and then sort of bring it into the game, fly around, test it out, put a few enemies in there, blow some stuff up, see how it feels, and then if it feels good, stick it in the game. And then the way that it works is the rooms are then stitched together in like random order. We can add in multiple environment types. We can constrain how many enemies spawn in a room, the sort of density. We have a lot of control. Like the biggest thing we wanted to do is like have procedural generation, but have as much control as possible on our end to sort of tailor the experience, help with that learning curve as well. We didn't just want to throw like new players, even experienced players into the game, and the first room you go into is like it's got 10 enemies in there, and they're all really high level things with advanced AI behavior and stuff. It's the high end enemies, the late game stuff. We didn't want that, so we're trying to build the single player experience around having these sort of constraints, and gradually, as you progress through the campaign, introduce more verticality, introduce more enemies, more environment types, and pretty like more more of everything.
Yeah, it does look a lot richer. I mean, one of the things I've noticed so far, the cockpit and ship design and the actual menu system you've got going on seems to have a lot of stuff to it. How much can people get out of it, like weapons and things to kind of collect and pick up as they go around?
So the idea is that when you destroy enemies, they drop nanites, which is sort of the in-game currency. So using nanites in combination with weapons that you scavenge from the environment, from loot chests, or enemies can drop them as well, you can then craft weapons and basically progress up like a tech tree. So what we've got is 3 tiers of weapons. That so for example, you can combine the autocannon and the pulsar that you start off with. You can combine that into a minigun, along with nanites. So as long as you've got like the nanite cost to pay for that, you can combine those 2 weapons into a minigun. And the way it works is when a weapon drops, there are certain like parameters, sort of maybe like damage, accuracy, range, and things like that. And those stats roll every time a weapon drops. And when you combine 2 weapons, the resulting weapon inherits stats from those weapons. So you may have a rusty autocannon or like a brutal pulsar. Okay,
yeah.
So like the rusty autocannon, it's not very good. It may have like -3 to damage or something like that. But when you combine it with a good gun, you may get something pretty standard. But if you could find 2 really good versions of like these weapons and then combine them together, you get a really good result from that.
That's cool.
So it's kind of this whole like, do I combine my 2 favourite guns into something more powerful, or do I keep hold of them and hold off for something else?
It's cool. I like it. I like the way that the game allows the player to explore and discover their own like path through things and see what's there. And you never know what quite is going on with it. I mean, you've announced the release date, but just to confirm, can you tell us when all the gamers out there will be able to play this awesome game?
So we announced our release date this week, I think.
Yeah.
We're coming out on the 8th of October on Steam. I think other stores we're looking at like GOG, Humble, Green Man Gaming. Yeah, we're looking at a variety of different stores, but it's primarily going to be PC first, with Mac and Linux support to follow shortly after. And then we'll also be releasing our VR integration shortly after as well. So yeah, the way that VR is going to work is that players who've got an Oculus Rift, like a DK2 or other VR headsets, just like the OSVR as well, we're looking to support OSVR, we want to support the Vive, we want to support basically all the major sort of like peripherals, and that support will come out post-launch shortly after. People can play it, give us feedback. We then want to iterate on it, get it ready for when the Oculus and other headsets start appearing on the market at retail. So we want to be one of the first games on those stores when they go live. So we're going to keep our VR in like a beta and then iterate on it with feedback from the community.
Awesome, that's fantastic. Thanks a lot, Gary.
No problem, thank you.
I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.